Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out AmItheA whole. Story 1. AITA for not getting my friend dinner. For a quick background, I am 25, have a friend group of 8 people, and when we do hangouts, I typically get my 2 friends, M20 and F22, from campus. I live about an hour away, but I love driving, so I really don't mind getting them. However, one of them, F22, is getting a little inconsiderate of my time. A week ago was my birthday. I told them what I wanted to do and what time I would pick them up. 2 of the 3 friends I was giving a ride to were ready on time. But the 22 girl was an hour and a half late. And got upset when we invited someone last minute, thought we were replacing her, after she said she no longer wanted to come. She was joking, but it was not obvious at the time. I was upset, but moved past it. Yesterday, my friend group went bowling and I had a plan to hang out with other friends afterwards. The group had a reservation, so I told the 22 girl to be ready an hour before we actually needed to leave. She appeared to be ready, but 5 minutes before we needed to leave she walked to her dorm to grab something nonchalantly, about a 15-minute walk. I did not complain and we ended up being 20 minutes late. We were the last to arrive. My friends knew I planned to meet up with other friends, so they already planned a ride back. On my way back from the second hangout, around midnight, I get a text from the girl to get her McDonald's. For context, I live 40 minutes from campus, but where I was it was 15 minutes from campus and 20 minutes from my house. I would have to go the opposite direction to get her food, and then drop it off, then head back home, which would total to like an hour and a half. I obviously said no. AITA for not getting her dinner, even though she has a car, but refuses to drive to not lose her parking spot on campus. Story 2. AITA for not letting my boyfriend take my earbuds to work. I, 21FTM, and my boyfriend, 19M, work at the same place. It's an indoor theme park that just opened in our town. I work part-time due to my disabilities, making a full-time job too much for me to handle while he works full-time. This means I tend to have more days off than him. Now there is one attraction at the park every employee hates to get sent to. It's the kiddie area where small children who can't ride the rides can go have fun. Only issue is, it's boring as running that attraction means sitting at your post, a bounce house or the front gate, until a kid comes. My boyfriend hates children deeply, and when I'm working with him I usually give him my earbuds since I can space out easily and being there is like a dream come true for me. Now today, before he left for work, he said he was gonna take my earbuds. The only issue is, I'm autistic and have a lot of issues with noises, so I specifically bought these earbuds that would help. I also have a lot of issues with sensory around my ears, so I can't use most earbuds or I get overstimulated. He knows both of these facts about me. So I told him no. He got upset at me. I told him our paychecks come soon and when it does we can get him a pair of earbuds. He wasn't happy with that. And now he is guilting me for refusing to let him take my earbuds to work because he thinks I wasn't going anywhere today, but we had talked last night about me going out to 2 different places today for things we needed as well as doing chores. Story 3. AITA for not getting my friend a Christmas present. So as a backstory, I, F20, live in a share house with my brother, M24, friends K, M24, and J, F22. Back in October my friend purchased tickets for herself and I to go to a convention next year on the premise that she wouldn't buy me a Christmas or 21st birthday gift as the tickets were over the $800 range. In return I agreed to pay for flights and accommodation for the both of us. We both agreed that would be our Christmas presents to each other. Well, today will be the last time all 4 of us will be together for Christmas until the day after, and we decided to exchange presents 2 days early. We went around the group and the boys were very pleased with the fairly expensive cologne I bought for them, but were baffled when it got to Jay and I didn't have a gift for her but she had one for me. Now, had she only told me that she'd gone back on our agreement and gotten me something, I would have happily sold something of mine and bought her a present too, but I didn't know. I'm not by any means rich, in fact I had to skip out on buying groceries for the fortnight and paying my bills in order to buy presents for the rest of my family. After Jay went to bed, my brother, knowing of my being blindsided by Jay's gift to me, berated me for not getting her a present, calling me an awful best friend and that she looked saddened by it. I obviously feel terrible, but it's too late to get her anything and I have no money until well after New Year's. So, am I an asshole for keeping to what we agreed upon and not buying her something, or was this all just a big misunderstanding / miscommunication that has been taken out of proportion? Should I have gotten her something despite what we agreed upon 2 months ago? I'm just feeling guilty and confused on what to do. Story 4. AITA for buying a second car that my husband doesn't want. When I met my now husband, he didn't have a car for environmental reasons and hadn't for over 5 years. He biked/took transit to work and was good at carpooling. When COVID lockdown happened and transit was unsafe, he started taking my car to work because I was working from home. I struggled with it a bit psychologically because I love my car and the freedom it represents, but couldn't go anywhere anyway, so it was okay. For the past year or so I've been back at the office 3 days/weeks, so he bikes/transits to work those days. But, transit is way worse now than pre-COVID, so any day I don't need to commute he still expects to use the car. I've told him multiple times that it's hard for me to feel trapped at home and that I miss having my car those days, but he genuinely doesn't seem to understand why I would feel that way. When I ask to use the car on a day he usually has it, he'll agree, but he groans and complains about having to spend 2 hours on transit to work. It doesn't feel right to me that he has to take transit to work so I can have the car for leisure/errands, but at the same time, it's my car. We got married in August 2022, but I still pay for and take care of everything for the car, insurance, maintenance, and own it outright. To solve this, I keep suggesting we get a low-budget backup car, but he insists that we don't need it and that it's a waste of money. After having this conversation probably 20 times, I've considered telling him I need the car every day and making him reply 100% on transit again just to make him see that he clearly needs/wants a car. But, that feels passive-aggressive and petty. I'm a professor and have holiday break coming up and I can't imagine another 3 weeks stuck at the house while he takes my car to work every day. So, I'm thinking about buying a $1,500 to $3,000 beater or worn-out EV with money out of my personal savings to have on days he takes my car. I know he has explicitly told me many times that he doesn't think we need a second car. But, I feel like I never agreed or wanted to share a car, it just sort of happened to me. I have explicitly told this to him in these words, but he doesn't understand why I wouldn't want to share a car. Given this, AITA for buying a cheap second car with my own savings that my husband explicitly told me he doesn't want or think we need so that I can have a car on days when he drives my car to work. Edit. A lot of people are saying that I should not buy a secondary car, I should just take my car back from him altogether. I've considered this and have actually brought it up to him. He basically says, fine, but that would make me frustrated and disappointed because you don't always need the car, and we're supposed to be a team, which has a real YTA vibe to it. It sounds like the consensus from the group is that AITA for that either, which is very nice to hear. Story 5. AITA for making my soon-to-be mother-in-law cry. 30M, supposed to get married to my husband, 30M, we are engaged. We had no problems up until now. For privacy reasons let's call him Jack. Jack and me started dating about 4 years now. His parents know that he's gay. Now getting to the issue, Mill would show up at random times of the day to plan our wedding. I had to cancel many events that I made with my husband because she would show up. She tried telling us that we needed certain colors to the wedding, a specific area where we needed to get married, so on and so on. She wouldn't let me put in any opinions. My husband is the one that wants a big fancy wedding, but I don't really do good with planning, but I should get at least an opinion on what we're doing. Like where we're getting married, color theme, etc. This would continue for weeks. She would try to control every little thing to our wedding. I picked out the suit that I wanted to wear and she demanded to see it, and I said that she didn't need to because it's how I liked it. And I don't want her ruining the one thing I could pick out. She didn't say much, so I thought that was the end of it, so I went to go talk to my husband for a little bit. I went in my room to grab something and I saw her snapping through my clothes trying to find my suit. Of course I got mad. I told Jack that I was upset about it, but he said it was no big deal, but I wanted it to be a surprise for both my husband and everyone else. It was a really nice suit. It was the first time that I ever spent a large amount of money on something special. So I started yelling at her that she had no business snooping through my things and that all she's been doing is controlling our wedding that's not even hers and that she should be uninvited to the wedding. I also told her that I don't get how my husband can be so attached to her when she does nothing but snoop in people's business and try to control every little thing in their life. She started tearing up and walked out of the house, and my husband started yelling at me saying that I was a big asshole for making his mom cry. He left the house and Mill texted the entire family and they all are on my husband's and M.I.L side. So am I the asshole? Story 6. AITA for not taking my friend's side in an argument. E and I have been friends since we were 16, we're 28 now. She has fought with a lot of other friends / colleagues / business partners, which even cost her jobs and small businesses, but she always maintained a good relationship with me. Currently she has a 2Y/0 daughter from a failed marriage where she accused him of being physically abusive and has full custody. During her daughter's birthday party, I bump into an old friend of mine, T, and we eventually get together. T's best friend, N, was one of E's exes and they all apparently stayed friends even though they had broken up. N is currently with new GFA and it made E jealous. Also, out of all her exes, N was the only ex who broke up with her instead of her doing it. She often joked about how she can easily break N and A up now that T and I are together. It started with N mentioning that he wants to introduce A to his family during the holidays. E had always kept in touch briefly with N's mum even after they had broken up, but the last she met her was while they were a couple. After hearing about N's plan, E said that she was going to visit his mum a few days prior. When asked why, she just claimed that it was none of his business. He stated that it would make A and his family uncomfortable as they knew he is bringing home his new GF and it was unnecessary for her to suddenly come visiting a few days before. Later, N's brother and T all advised her not to go as his family and A would be uncomfortable and she can always visit next time. She exploded. Proceeded to call N and his family childish, called A insecure and that she can get N back with the snap of her finger, horribly berated T and blocked them all. I got annoyed. I was getting second-hand embarrassment cause she was my friend, but mostly because T had been a friend to her even when I couldn't physically. I work an irregular schedule that changes on a weekly basis. So I texted her that what she's doing is unnecessary and even if she thinks everyone is entitled to their own opinion and it isn't her problem, everyone referring to N and family, wouldn't she feel ashamed for wanting to go somewhere they clearly don't want her over? She replied with, "If you just shut the bleep up we'd still be friends," and blocked me. I sent her an Insta DM saying she's ungrateful towards us who actually care and did so much for her and no wonder she has got no real friends and she just lost probably the last real ones she had. I can't just keep quiet when she's making a fool out of herself and a friend would point out her faults. I can't do fake friendships and this is me shutting the bleep up for good and hope she's happy with her superficial besties. Apparently she's still talking about me, saying I chose my BF and his friend over her, but after the whole ordeal, I feel lighter. Like a huge heavy black cloud lifted off my shoulders. I realize how much disrespect I've been tolerating over the years. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.